Hey there, welcome to Jaysc Designs. I'm AJ Carter, your guide through the world of graphic design. Today, I want to share a story about the first logo I ever designed. It was a simple project, but it taught me some of the most valuable lessons I still carry with me today. Whether you're a new designer or just curious about the process, I think you'll find this story helpful. So let's dive in. I was in my second year of college, studying business. To be honest, I wasn't enjoying it. I was constantly doodling in my notebooks instead of paying attention to lectures. One day, my friend Casey came up to me with a request. He played guitar in a local band, and they needed a logo for their upcoming gig. They had no budget, but I was excited about the challenge. This was my first chance to make something real. I had no formal design training at the time, just a passion for art and a laptop with basic design software. It felt like the perfect opportunity to test myself. I remember sitting down at my desk, staring at a blank screen. I had so many ideas in my head, but no clue where to start. Should I go bold and loud, or keep it minimal? I tried a few things, some basic shapes, a few fonts, but nothing felt right. I spent hours experimenting, sketching rough ideas, and scrapping them just as quickly. It was frustrating because I wanted to get it right on the first try. I was so focused on making it perfect that I didn't even consider asking Casey for input at first. I thought I should just create something amazing on my own. After a couple of days with little progress, I decided to reach out to Casey for some feedback. We met up at a coffee shop, and I showed him the rough sketches I had so far. I was nervous. This was the first time I was putting my work out there for someone else to judge. But instead of critiquing my sketches, Casey started talking about the band's style. He mentioned their influences like old-school grunge and punk rock, and how they wanted something that felt raw and authentic. That's when it hit me. I hadn't been designing with the band's personality in mind. I was just creating what I thought looked cool, without understanding their vision. This was the first big lesson I learned. Good design starts with understanding the client's needs and preferences. You can't create something meaningful if you don't know who it's for. I realized I needed to focus less on what I thought was cool and more on capturing the essence of the band. So I went back to the drawing board with a fresh perspective. Instead of trying out every font and color under the sun, I decided to keep it simple. I opted for a hand-drawn style, using rough, jagged lines that mimicked the raw energy of their music. I sketched out a logo with a rough, edgy font, adding a jagged line underneath that looked almost like a sound wave. It wasn't perfect, but it felt authentic. It felt like it belonged to the band. When I showed the new design to Casey, I was prepared for more feedback and possible changes. But to my surprise, he loved it. He said it captured the band's vibe perfectly and couldn't wait to start using it. They immediately added it to their social media, and it became part of their brand identity. Seeing my design out there in the world, even in a small way, was an incredible feeling. It was the first time I saw the power of graphic design, to take an idea and turn it into something tangible that people could see and connect with. Reflecting on that experience, there are a few key lessons I learned that have stuck with me throughout my career. First, don't be afraid to start with a blank canvas. The fear of making something imperfect can be paralyzing, but you have to push past that and just start creating. The more you sketch, experiment, and iterate, the closer you get to a design that works. Your first draft might not be great, it probably won't be. And that's okay. Design is a process, and every rough sketch gets you closer to the final product. The second lesson is that communication is key. I spent hours struggling on my own because I was afraid to ask for input. But once I sat down with Casey and asked the right questions, everything clicked. Understanding the client's vision and preferences is crucial. It gives you a direction and a purpose for your design choices. Now, whenever I start a new project, the first thing I do is sit down with the client and ask about their goals, their brand identity, and the message they want to convey. It's amazing how much easier the design process becomes when you have that clarity from the start. The third lesson I learned was about embracing mistakes. I went through dozens of sketches and concepts before landing on the final design. I could have viewed those failed attempts as wasted time, but instead, I saw them as necessary steps in the process. Each discarded idea taught me something new about what worked and what didn't. It's easy to get discouraged when a design doesn't turn out the way you envisioned, but every mistake is an opportunity to learn and improve. Over the years, I've worked on countless projects, some big, some small, but that first logo design for Casey's band still holds a special place in my memory. It was the project that showed me the potential of graphic design and the impact it could have. It also taught me that even the simplest projects can have valuable lessons. You never know where your next insight or breakthrough will come from. Sometimes it's from a big, high-budget project, and other times it's from helping a friend with a small, unpaid gig. If you're new to graphic design or thinking about starting your own journey, my advice is simple. Don't be afraid to dive in. Your first projects might not be perfect, and that's okay. Every design, every sketch, and every revision is a step toward getting better. And don't be afraid to ask for feedback. Sometimes, a 5-minute conversation can save you hours of guessing and struggling. I'm excited to share more stories, tips, and tutorials from my journey here at Jaysc Designs. Whether you're a beginner looking for guidance or a small business owner wanting to learn about branding, I hope my experiences can offer some insights and inspiration. Thanks for watching and being part of this journey. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Let me know what topics you'd like to see next. See you in the next video.